into it now. So consider how that works as well in terms of where you distribute it. You got to be able to tell, for advertisers, the value that they see in your show isn't generally as much about the content as it is about the numbers. So you got to track your stats. You need to know how many people are downloading. And this is where we have a great advantage over conventional television. We can tell, how many people are downloading exactly, where they watch to for streaming stuff, where they come from. Take advantage of that stuff. Audience surveys, get some demographic information if you can, and engage with your viewers through the social networking, but also on your site, blog comments and different things like that. We've incorporated Facebook Connect in terms of a new tool that helps maintain that relationship, and it's really important to build those sort of things and be part of the community.
I think one of the best things we ever did, we did a Survey Monkey survey about a couple of years ago maybe.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
And it was one of the best things we ever did. Survey Monkey is a great tool online to do web surveys, and it really helped us narrow down in terms of who was watching our show. And we left the survey up there for months and months to continue to collect data, and
now
that's
we
just
know
invaluable.
Where people are watching from. It caused us, in some ways, to get rid of our Windows Media file and add an MP3 audio-only file because our audience.
That was actually demanded in the comments when that disappeared. Like, where's the MP3 audio? What's going on? I find this also one thing about stats. Some advertisers will actually help you. You need decent demographics because although it's interesting to know that 400 people in China downloaded your podcast, certain advertisers will only pay you based on US downloads for a certain particular period of time. And so you may have your aggregate stat may be giant, but then you narrow it down, whittle it down to a particular niche thing, and that's what you get paid out. So it's good. It's important to be aware of how many people are watching in each sector and if you can monetize it.
Yeah, and so it's great that we have viewers all over the world, and that is wonderful. We love it. We got an email from a grandmother in the Philippines or something like that. It's super cool, but advertisers don't care about that. That's almost a negative because it's coming off the top of your stats. Legal accounting things. There's, again, if you're expecting to make money on something, that's kind of the definition of being a professional, whatever. You need to pay attention to the legal accounting sides of it. So contracts, read through contracts, get to know what they look like. Make sure you're referencing price compensation, length, the type of ads and duration. Copyright, consider that. Creative Commons is a wonderful option for most of us out there. And when you get to the billing part of it, invoice on time, have your branding on your invoice. Do these things that let you show a professional face to the advertiser, helps build a relationship. We have a fantastic relationship with GoDaddy. They've watched us grow over the years. And this is the kind of stuff that is appreciated on that side. Somebody has to handle all this, so make it easy on them. And just on a personal level, track your earnings and expenses. If you're making any money off your podcast and you go out and have a beer and are talking to somebody about how to make it better, on the back of it, write down their name, what podcast they're in on the back of the receipt, put it in your pocket and file that against your earnings.
Yeah, our accountant loves us.
Yeah, but it makes a big, big difference. You need to have a sponsorship package, basically. Something short and sweet, just like most things should be on the web. Your audience details, publicity. We always mentioned we were featured in Wired magazine. Mentioned interviews with David Cronenberg and some big names like that we've done. These sort of things are, just sort of buzzwords, hot words that you can communicate to sponsors. Again, have it branded, make it easy for them. Like, think of from their perspective, just like you should be doing in the production of your show. You got to look at it from their side. What makes it easy on them? What makes it good for them? Special promotions and contests. We do lots of that sort of stuff. Get some T-shirts, figure out a way to give them out. Solicit, segment ideas from your audience. Get them involved and let them see that unlike conventional television, this is something where they can actually impact what they're watching. Next week, maybe something on the show is because of you, and that is this huge community.
Yeah, let me just interrupt. If anyone's out there is Twittering, send your web pics, make a little video about 15 seconds to 30 seconds long, something you like on the web, send it to us, and I throw it in. I love those things. I love getting those.
One thing we've even started to do, and this is a fun idea for anyone who's doing video online and you want to get that user-generated content, is if anyone's ever talked about Command N, what we've started to do is on Twitter, we'll do a search for Command N, and we'll actually show that Twitter message on an upcoming episode of the show. So a really easy way to get user-generated content without forcing someone to create their own video. We're just taking a mention that someone made on Twitter and saying, hey, so-and-so mentioned this about Command N, oh, I'll answer your question now, or thanks for the feedback. And you're filling up time, but you're filling it up with user-generated content, which is so valuable and difficult to get sometimes.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, coming out to events like this, those are important things in building that relationship with the community too. Have your show downloadable and streamable. Educate the advertiser. These stats are a little bit old. They were collected in 2008, but 22% of advertisers, internet users have watched the podcast. That's great, but there's some interesting things to pull out from these, like the fact that podcast consumers buy more online than other consumers. If your potential advertiser or sponsor is using these metrics, well, those don't look near as good as 82% versus 59%. That's going to cut into your numbers pretty hard. So be able to sell it. It's it's an up and coming space, obviously, and so look for these stats gathered and keep on top of it and be able to sell your show. So we're just going to look at how we've worked this stuff into the new Command N site. And there's still changes to be made. We're going to put our Twitter feeds down the side and some things like this, but we touch on a lot of what we talked about right in the site here. So it may give you some ideas in terms of how to prevent that professional facing what you want on there. So downloads. We've got a bunch of different types of downloads because some people want to watch it on iPods. The MPEG-4, so anyone can watch it. H.264 is our high quality one. MP3 for people who just have audio devices. The new tools like these share bars are great, where you can get to a bunch of different services just through a snippet of code in your web page. They can be really helpful. And buy a shirt from us, donate, sponsor us. That's how we make our money. You can duplicate that kind of stuff up in the nav for sponsor and things like that.
And we did this. This site's done on WordPress, so a simple WordPress site.
Just a WordPress CMS. And then the bottom, conversation with the community. If nobody posts right away, seed your posts. Seed your comments. Start putting
I
comments
do that all the
yourself.
time. Jeff, you know what? You had the best analogy once that I've used in presentations. No one wants to be the first person to go onto the dance floor, and it's the same thing in comments with any type of video or blog. It's okay for you to go there and be the first person to comment, and it will generate more people leaving messages. Because no one wants to go be the first one on the dance floor.
And our social media clients, we talk to you about this sort of stuff too. It's like don't be afraid to start the conversation. That's not a faux pas at all. Using Facebook Connect, so we get into the social network side of things, but as importantly, so we see who we're talking about. You can see people's faces. It's an important thing. We still connect on that kind of level.
And Facebook Connect is just a plug-in on WordPress so that anyone with a Facebook account can log in and comment on our site. So if you don't understand what Facebook Connect is, you'll see it more and more now on blogs and other sites. And it's a great way to build community right away with any type of video you're offering online.
Absolutely.
So that people don't have to sign up with another username and password. They can just use their Facebook
people,
info.
It's removing the barriers to participation, and that's one of them. So many people have a Facebook account that take advantage of that. They don't need a Command N account to post on your site or to fill in that information every time. So that's kind of what it's looking like now. It'll change over time, but I think it shows a lot of the different pieces that we've picked up over the years that are part of how you present this type of production online.